No,
pick who was
I
the
know.
intro. I'll do it. I think you did last week. No, I did. Whatever. Hello, Giggly Witches. We are not organized right now, but we're back for another episode. I think it's episode 20.
It is. It is episode 20. I
We made
realized
it.
I corrected that it was episode 19, and then I was like, oh no, it is episode
It is.
18. And then after we hung up, I was like, you know what? I was right. It was episode 19.
Here we are, episode 20. We are going to talk about Mercury Retrograde. Boom, 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 boom. I did the wrong. Why can I never get the tunes right? It was not coming out.
It
on
was like
this.
the like MGM intro.
I was like, was that the NFL or something?
That maybe that's what it was.
No, I'm sorry.
Did you know
really tired
the MGM line? You know how like the lion roars?
Yeah.
One of my favorite fun facts is that it's not actually a lion.
Is it a man?
It's a tiger.
Oh. Like a guy really good at voice effects.
No, it's a tiger. Because lions don't actually roar like that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. We all think lions roar like that because of that.
Yeah, no, we've been lied to. Also, Lion King, you know, like we've been lied to.
Are those tigers too, or are those guys?
I'm assuming they're probably tiger roars, you know, but yeah, it's more of a soft roar. Like I think they can still roar pretty loud, but it's not that like
snarly.
Yeah, like deep.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactamente. But yeah, my brain isn't working very good today, guys. Just letting everybody know. It's Mercury retrograde, so we're gonna blame it on that.
Yeah. I've been in Wicked mode the last 3 days since I seen Wicked on Sunday.
I'm so jealous. I bet I could find
good.
I'm not here where I am now, but when I go back to Mexico City, I bet I could go see it in English somewhere.
Yeah.
But I should have done it before I left. I think it was out. But anyways.
Also, by the time you go home, probably see it.
You think it will still be in theaters? I really want to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to. But tell us about it, Pam. What was your experience?
God. It was so good. So for anybody that knows Wicked, I'll try not to spoil it.
Spoiler alert. It's a story that's like 50 years old. I don't think
it's really, I mean, the book is so old.
Yeah.
And then they finally made it into a play in 2003.
Yeah.
So it's been.
The book is really good.
I haven't read the book.
It's got some naughty bits in it. It's a little bit spicy.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously they took that out to make the play family friendly. And it is not in the movie either. But as someone who is a big fan of the play, they did a really, really good job at adapting it to the screen.
Yeah.
Like it's so similar, like the songs, even just like the dialogue, everything is done so well. And Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, that's how you say her last name, smashed it. So good. Also, all of the tweets about Jonathan Bailey have been taking me out. They're so funny. They're so
Wait, I need to look this up. Which one's Jonathan Bailey? Jonathan Bailey,
he's in, did you watch Bridgerton?
No.
He plays Anthony in Bridgerton. And he plays Fiyero in Wicked. But so they split the movie into 2 parts, which is kind of annoying, but I understand.
That's
like
crazy.
After seeing it,
yeah,
I understand. They did, like Act 1 is part 1, and then Act 2 will come out next year, which is crazy. I can't believe I have to wait a whole year. But one of the funnier tweets that I saw about it, I sent to my little brother because we were talking about it. Someone tweeted, it goes, I understand why they made it into 2 movies now. You cannot put Jonathan Bailey singing Dancing Through Life and Jonathan Bailey singing As Long As You're Mine in one movie. People have families.
This brings me
so
to
good. He's
my
so good.
question because Wicked, there's so many songs that are you belt it out along with it. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite to listen to in the car and sing along in obnoxious levels, like
Yes.
screaming, right? So how does one sit in a movie theater and not sing along?
I know. Well,
I
honestly,
think
I
that would
was
be
really
really hard for
happy
me.
that people weren't singing
Of
along because
course,
I was
I
like, I'm
wouldn't
not
want
here
them
to
to, and
hear
I
you.
wouldn't, but I would
But
have a heart. I'd be like,
I was my friend, I saw it with with my friend Cody and Sierra. And I don't know what Cody was doing, but I know Sierra was singing, at least in her head. I
I would
was
have to
singing in
mouth
my
it
head.
along like
That's
I'm
what
a
I was
boy.
doing. So I
Yeah,
was
I would
mouthing
have
along
to.
and I was like bopping my head and everything. All
Yeah.
three of us are just sobbing the
Oh,
whole time,
absolutely.
the whole time, the whole time in the dancing through life part of the play movie.
Mhm.
There's this just really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scene with Elphaba and Glinda, and it's just like all three of us looked at each other, just sobbing. Oh my God, it was so good. And now I can't stop listening to it. I was even just talking to
Yeah.
my friend Ryan about it this morning. We were catching up. Haven't spoken to him in probably like 4 or 5 months. Half of our phone call was about Wicked.
That's so funny. I cannot wait. I
um,
cannot wait. This is my, to bring this full circle into what we like to talk about here, manifestation stuff.
yes,
Defying Gravity is
so good.
my favorite song to listen to, especially when I'm feeling frustrated or kind of like put down, like things aren't working out or whatever. Because it's just about like, like you can't hold me back, you can't bring me
Yeah,
down, like no matter what, like I'm gonna freaking fly. So it's one of my favorite pick me up songs when I'm feeling a little
yes,
like, oh, like why is it not manifesting, or why do they have that thing and I don't, or whatever. And it just kind of like brings you back into like, no, but I'm powerful and this is
yeah.
all for, yeah. Hot
Love
tip.
that. Love
Scream Defying Gravity at the top of your list.
that. I love listening to Dancing Through Life,
Yeah.
and I just want to be silly because
Yeah.
it's such a silly song.
Yeah. Silly goofy time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really like you have to read into the lyrics,
Yeah.
but it is kind of a silly song because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, life is better knowing nothing matters.
Right. I mean, it's kind of just
And
about like, just kind of
knowing
like,
nothing. It's just
yeah.
the emphasis you put on the words, like knowing nothing matters, and then also knowing nothing also
Yeah.
matters. Um, it's so silly. I love it so much. It was so
Yeah.
good. This is
Oh
your
no, I
song.
just
Go
want to.
see it.
This is gonna turn into. Let's just start playing and singing
We
along. It's
should
gonna
put it
turn
on
into
the
a wicked
screen.
listening party.
Sing along.
Dancing through life.
It was so good. And Ariana Grande does so well too, like in the opening scenes. Like in No One Mourns the Wicked, like you just see the pain on her face. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh,
Where you know that she's just like it's hurting her so much. But oh my God, it was so good.
oh, I
I
have
can't
chills
wait.
when you
I
say it.
literally I don't have any Thanksgiving plans, so I literally am going back on Thursday.
I'll book
To
a flight.
watch
I'm
it.
coming.
Yeah, please do.
Uh,
There's one seat open next to me, so
Perfect. I'll
yeah.
take.
But
That's
yeah, but that does like my silly goofy question was gonna be,
amazing.
what would you ask the wizard for?
What would you ask for?
And it could be, like you could go on the route of like courage, a heart, a
Yeah, that's what I
brain.
was kind of thinking. I know. I was like, a brain.
Headphones before.
I was like, oh my God, you guys. I was like, we're all set up, we're on Zoom, and I'm like, Pam, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. In my mind, it's her fault. I can't hear. And then I was like, oh, and I held up the cord that wasn't plugged in.
Oh my God. So silly.
Also today, I I was trying to walk out the door with my keys and some other stuff, and it's completely flat. There was nothing, and I could just biffed it. for no reason. I think I would like a sense of equilibrium.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tripping or depth
All
perception.
over.
I'm just
Yeah.
running into stuff all the time. Elbows,
That's a
things that
big
are
like ADHD thing though.
oh
I don't
really?
know, I don't remember the reason why, but a lot of people with ADHD have a really bad like
Hmm.
whatever it is, so you just bump into things all the time.
Yeah, I get clotheslined once a day minimum by a branch. And
Well, that's
I
your
blame it on being
fault.
tall, but also I
I
feel like
know.
I should pay more attention to what
But when
happens.
you're walking through St. Augustine, because I don't think I'm shorter than all the
She just
branches.
walks under stuff, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, Sadie's like dodging things, and I was like, oh, sorry. Like, I don't even think about it to where I like think about where I'm walking because I can just walk under everything. And then I would see Sadie like duck, like she was doing a fucking obstacle course.
I'm like,
Just like, oh my goodness.
oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think I would ask, well, I guess that's a spoiler, so I won't say anything. But I would ask for, I would love to not have imposter syndrome.
Mm.
Um, or
So
like,
would that be like confidence
I guess,
or like kind of? Yeah.
yeah. Um, and then, or like, I would love, like real magical powers,
Yeah. Obviously, I'd
you
be like,
know?
give me that Harry Potter shit.
Yeah, like give me a real, and not like the one they give to Glinda,
Yeah.
like a real one.
Well, Elphaba is quite powerful. So like
Yes.
Elphaba's
Yeah.
powers. Give me some of those.
Yeah. I would love that. To fly, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I would love to fly. I
To
always say if I had
teleport.
to pick like, yeah, that's my one. Like if I had to pick, if they were like, you can't be fully magic, but you can pick one specific kind of magic, I would say to teleport
Yeah.
or apparate or whatever. Just be able
Yeah.
to be like, new place
That would be cool.
constantly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Although it would be kind of cool to like be able to fly over things.
Yeah, that would be cool. But I want to get places faster. I got the whole
There's
world
like a
to see.
turbo speed.
Yeah.
On the broom. Everything's like
I can
light
also use
speed
the
and like
Flu network.
yeah. Although that always kind of freaks me out.
That looked scary.
Yeah. Or
But
the one where
apparating
they
is
like
scary
flush
too because
themselves down the
sometimes you like
toilet.
leave a limb behind or something.
Yeah,
Come
Ron got
together all jumbled
splinched.
up. Splinched. I don't want to get splinched. It sounds terrible.
Jeez. I know. I
Oh
love
my
it
God.
so much. Yeah. Anyway, tell us your silly goofies that aren't necessarily silly goofy this week.
I have had a week. So I am in Puerto Escondido, which is on the coast of Oaxaca, the state of Oaxaca in Mexico. And it's so beautiful here. And I'm having so much fun. I'm making so many friends. I'm going out and partying and dancing all night. It's been so great. And I went on this little, okay, so this is my silly goofy is that I almost died this week. It was really traumatizing. But let me tell you a story. Everybody gather around. I went to this beautiful town called Mazunte. Maybe saying that wrong, but it's really cool. It's so here's more touristy, and it was like we got a scooter and we drove about an hour and a half, and it's like this little bit more remote like beach town. And we got this beautiful hotel that you could like hear the ocean from, the most insane views, like so magical. This is like the most magical weekend of my entire life. Like so cool, so great. So everything's just chef's kiss. So amazing. So on Sunday, we're hanging out on the beach and we're like drinking some coconuts. We're having a great time. We're like, let's go for a swim. And it's wonderful. The waves, the warm water, everything's great. And then I'm like, hey, it seems like we're kind of far out and we got like pulled this way. We realized that we were in a current or whatever. So then we start trying to swim back in, and we cannot swim back in. We are in a rip current, and it is very strong. And then, of course, you realize what's happening and you start panicking. Um, and spoiler alert, we survived, obviously. But I have never actually thought I was going to die. And I was starting to like at a certain point, I was getting so tired because you're just like you're just like swimming, and you're not going anywhere. You're getting pulled further away from land. And I'm just getting exhausted. I'm looking at my friend and like I'm like same things happening. And so I'm like, I'm not only worried about myself, I'm worried about them too. But I'm just like focused and I'm like trying not to panic. 'Cause I'm like, panicking is how you die. But these waves are crashing over your head and getting in your eyes, and you're drinking the salt water, and then you're trying to like use the waves to try to get in, but you're getting dragged out. It was awful. And I was reaching this point of exhaustion, and I was starting to panic, even though I was trying to stay calm. I was starting to hyperventilate, and my muscles were giving out, and I was just like, this is it. Like I was like, I can't go for another minute of this. Like I'm done. I'm still so far from land. Like fuck, like I'm gonna die. Like I legitimately felt like that. And then I heard this voice, and I was far out, so I just didn't think of this. I don't know, you're in the moment, you're panicking. I heard this calm voice so loudly in my mind go, put your feet down. And lo and behold, I could stand up. And I felt like such a dumbass, but at that moment I just felt relief. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my fucking God. So and the waves were making us go up and down so much that like I couldn't always touch, but like it was enough where like I could like ground myself, and I like caught my breath, and I just felt like, okay, I can touch. Like I'm going to be okay. I can like fight my way back in if I can get some footing. I yelled at my friend, I'm like, put your face up, because they're still struggling. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'm going to be okay now, but I'm not sure if they're going to be okay. They're farther out than me still. I made it a little bit farther in. Just complete panic on their face. I'm like, fuck. So ultimately, but that voice in my head like saved me. I wouldn't have put my feet down.
Yeah.
And it was just a moment where like my guides or my guardian angel or my mom or whoever just it was so calm. And I think too, like one of the biggest things I hear from clients is like, I don't know the difference between my intuition and my anxiety. And in that moment, I was obviously like panicking, not anxiety, but sheer panic.
Yeah.
Just a spectrum of anxiety, I think. And it was just calm. It wasn't like, oh my God, try to put your feet down, try this, try that. It was just like, put your feet down.
Yeah.
And it was the most calming, grounded, like I say voice, it was in my head, but it was just like, and I was just like, oh, and like it saved me literally.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy. And then so we both made it back in, because eventually they were able to put their feet down within a couple seconds too. And we were able to like, it took us a while to get back in. We were so exhausted, and we were just kind of like dazed. And then we were both sitting on the beach, just like shaking.
Like little chihuahuas.
Oh my, we almost just died. Like we're both like coughing up water. We're like, fuck. And then we're like, okay, we need to change the scenery. Like we need to go. Like we do not want to be on this beach anymore. So we go to this cafe that's like down the beach where all the people are. First of all, we're idiots because there was no one on this beach to see us struggling. We walked down because they were flying their drone, and we were like, let's get in the water, whatever. So we go to this cafe, and we're just sitting at this cafe. We got like a Coca-Cola. We were just like sitting in silence. Completely traumatized. And like we'd barely eaten that day. It was like 3 p.m. and we were like, we both like couldn't eat. We were just so traumatized. It was so scary.
Honestly, probably good you didn't eat. You probably would have ended up throwing it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was crazy.
That is so crazy.
And then but this was the craziest part. My poor friend, I was like, one of my crystal bracelets broke, and when my crystal bracelets break, I return the bracelet beads, obviously not the elastic, I get rid of that separately, but the little crystal beads, I always like bury them in the earth, in a plant, something, like whatever, because they're stones. It's an offering. And so I was like, my crystal bracelet broke, and I was like, do you want to do a spell with me? Like I'll give you half the beads. And we did this little like meditation and visualization. I taught them how to like pick something and visualize it and whatever. And we like went out to the ocean and we like I was like, you can toss them in the ocean. They're rocks. It's okay. Or I'm gonna like kind of like bury them in the sand, whatever. And then that happened, and we almost died. They were like, "What the fuck did you make me do?" I was like, "I'm so sorry. I've never." So then I voice messaged Pam. This was hours later when I could finally talk again. I was like, what do you think happened? Why did the ocean almost? But I didn't feel like it was ominous at all. I felt like I was so divinely protected because I had that voice just swoop in and freaking save me. So I was like, I don't think the ocean was mad at me. Was I mistaken? Were those not real crystals? Were they fake crystals and the
Oh
ocean
my
got
God.
mad? But
Yeah.
my intention behind it would have been whatever. So it was like, no, the ocean doesn't like punish you like that, whatever. So I felt like we were protected, but probably won't be doing magic with that.
Well,
Later, I was like, oh, look, it's 11:11. They were like, I don't want to hear about it.
well, I'm happy you're okay. I think also for anybody, if you ever get caught in a rip current or if you get caught in a rip current again, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to go in, you're supposed to go horizontal.
Yeah, so I think that's also what helped because we had gotten pulled sideways, kind of like diagonal outwards. So we
Yeah.
were far away from our stuff. So we were swimming diagonal and not straight in. So I think that also helped. But yeah, you're not supposed to try to fight directly through it. You're supposed to go sideways. And we were like kind of like halvesies. So I think that was why it was scary. Like we weren't quite
Yeah.
there, but like I think it helped because we saw our stuff. So we were trying to like swim sideways towards our stuff. But yeah, also there were red flags on the beach that we just didn't notice. I feel like first of all, they were too close to the maybe the tide goes really high or something, but they were way too close to the buildings to be noticed, I think. I'm just pissed because
That's
I didn't
usually
notice
where
them.
yeah.
I always thought they were more further out, and there was like I don't know. I just feel like there should be more signage. Also, it's a teeny tiny town. Why did our hotel host was all over us, talking to us so much? Why didn't she say, by the way, there's a dangerous current down there. Don't swim. I don't know. I'm just traumatized. I should have seen that. But I was like, why didn't anybody like? Why wasn't there more signs? Why didn't they say it? There was red flags? We were just dumb. We didn't see it. But then in the red flag area, other people were swimming after we got out, like 20 minutes later, and they were fine. So I don't know. We just got
In the
whatever.
wrong spot.
But yeah. Um, but yeah, it was crazy. But despite that, it was still a great weekend. Not gonna let it bring me down.
No one's ever gonna bring
Me down. Full circle.
Yeah.
Wait, I feel like I did have a different. Oh, okay. I have a silly goofy I want to talk about.
Okay. Like
I
a
haven't
real
watched-
silly goofy.
Yeah, I haven't watched the movie, but it's all over my TikTok right now. A truck going past. It's all over my TikTok right now. I can't wait to watch it. Have you seen the phenomenon that is Hot Frosty on Netflix, I believe?
No, but Diana was just talking to me about it. She watched it yesterday.
It looks absolutely insane, and it's exactly
Insane.
the kind of Christmas movie I love to watch. And they know exactly what they're doing with that. Like it went totally viral, and
Yeah.
they know it was so bad, and I can't wait to watch it. And that's pretty much it. But for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, it's a classic, Hallmark-esque cheesy Christmas movie, but the premise is that a snowman comes to life, but it's like there was like a snowman contest or something, and then there's like this one sculpted one of like a hot guy that's got like abs and stuff, and she puts the scarf on him, and then he comes to life, and then that's where the movie goes from there.
Yeah. I think
And
it's
I
Ted
cannot wait.
from
It's Ted from
Schitt's
Schitt's Creek, but he looks terrible. He looks
So the hair. I don't like the hair. You gotta
I think they wanted him to get like super ripped for the role, and he ended up looking really gaunt, like he got too shredded or something.
Oh,
He's
I
supposed
thought
to be
he
like
was
hot
already
frosty.
pretty ripped.
His face just looks super gaunt. Like he looks like, yeah, he like in other pictures he's got this like fuller, I don't know. I think he looks really gaunt, like he got too shredded or something. That was my opinion when I saw it. I was like, he's usually way hotter.
Opinion, that's the word. Remember when I was like, there's something that you say
Oh,
really
opinion?
and then
What do you
the
say?
O. It's like opinion.
Opinion. No, opinion. That's just my opinion. That's my Wisconsin accent. Um, I mean, he's still a hot guy, but I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, his face
I was
looks
watching all these TikToks and there was this one where like a husband and wife, like the wife didn't really give the husband the premise of the movie, just turned it on. It was like, oh, I want to watch like a cheesy Christmas movie, and just turn it on.
yeah.
And it's him giving commentary, and this is the beginning parts. I haven't watched it, so I don't have spoilers, but the woman's like putting the scarf on the like hot snowman and like I don't know, like makes a comment about something like, oh, looking good or something, and the husband looks to his wife and he goes, she's kind of weird, huh?
Let me see what else she was watching yesterday.
I can send you
Um,
that one. I think I sent it to my friend Claire because we always watch crazy Christmas movies together, but it just made me laugh so hard. She's kind of weird, huh?
yeah, because it is weird. That is weird.
And then like the whole town knows he's a snowman. Like she takes him to the doctor and his temperature's like 30 degrees and stuff. Like it's absolutely insane. I cannot wait to watch it.
Yeah.
That's my silly goofy. I haven't watched it, but I'm really
Yeah.
excited.
He doesn't look great. Can we I would love
Take
to
a bite of
watch that
chocolate.
with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just looking through all the photos. His face does look really strange.
Yeah, it doesn't look like him. And I
His
know
teeth
this
look
him.
huge.
Yeah.
His face is so skinny.
Sorry that I'm chewing something. I just want a bite of chocolate.
That's okay.
Trying to get away from the microphone.
I know I made popcorn and I was like, that'll probably be really annoying to eat, huh?
After I took the bite and I could hear my mom, I didn't know that you'd be able to hear me chewing. I was like, shit, I should have done that. Sorry, everybody. Will not take another bite.
Well,
Okay.
anything else, or shall we talk about
I feel like
Mercury
I have what I was
retrograde?
gonna write down, but I want to talk about Mercury retrograde. Let's do it.
Amazing. Um, should I start?
Yes.
Well, Mercury is the planet that rules communication, travel,
Mhm.
technology. It rules over Gemini, and that was perfect. Thank you. Mercury retrograde, perfect example. Gemini and Virgo. Um, but during a Mercury
Oh,
retrograde, um, miscommunications are likely or more likely to kind of like trip over your words, get a little tongue-tied.
hmm. I
Um,
feel like that happens to me normally, so
yeah, same. But during, oh my God, it's so bad. I feel like I just am like blah, 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 blah.
I'm actually thinking about that. I'm like, actually, the past 2 days, I feel like I have been worse than normal.
Um, yeah, so there's that. You can, and miscommunication in the like general sense of the word, where like we're just like not understanding each
Right. Like
other
someone
kind of
takes
thing.
something the wrong way.
Yeah,
You send a text and they think you had a different tone than you meant. Things
right.
like that can happen a lot.
Yeah, and you can experience travel delays or issues with technology. Also decision making decisions could be a little bit of a slower process during this time. Um,
Mhm.
and I do want to like put a word of caution, I guess, out and just be like
Mhm.
anyone that's trying to like scare you about
Mhm.
Mercury retrograde, I would just be a little
Yeah.
wary about that
I
because it's
think
not
it's
something to be afraid
really,
of.
yeah, I think we get a lot of like tightness around it. Like it's going to be a
Hmm.
terrible time. And like I think that what I always say is like I almost don't even want to know about it anymore because it can be such a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, yeah.
It can really just be like like just you assume you're gonna have a bad time, you assume things are gonna go wrong, you assume you're gonna mess up your schedule, miss an appointment, forget to press send on the email. You assume these things are gonna happen, whatever. And so they do.
Yes.
So it's like really like how to survive Mercury retrograde. Step one, don't assume it's gonna be a terrible time.
Yes, exactly. And it's nice to know about so that you can give yourself a little padding,
Yeah,
if
be a little more
anything, but don't
intentional,
like
be
expect it.
careful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mercury retrograde happens 3 to 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
It'll usually happen in like one of the elements. So like
Mm.
the first one will be typically in like, a fire sign or
Mm.
whatever, water, whatever it is. And I wrote down the dates for next year if
Mm.
anyone wants to be prepared. So the first one next year will be March 15th to April 7th, and it'll start in Aries and then move into Pisces.
Mm.
Next one is July 18th to August 11th in Leo. And then the last one will be November 9th to November 29th, starting in Sagittarius and then retrograding back into Scorpio. Also,
Mm-hmm.
just like technically speaking, a retrograde is when a planet appears to be
Yep.
moving backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually moving backwards, it's just because of the way that we on Earth
Yeah.
rotate and move in
Yeah.
the solar system. It appears to be moving backwards. That goes for any planet in retrograde.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like with retrograde, like how I always kind of remind myself is like focus on the re
Yes, I have
words
that too.
and then we'll like whatever planets in retrograde if you want to pay and pretty much everyone just pays attention to the Mercury
Yeah.
retrograde, even though there's Venus, I mean everything goes in
Yeah.
retrograde. But it's like the rewords pertaining to what that planet's themes are. And I mean, you could go deeper, like what it is in your chart, whatever, but like, like reflect, review. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's this energy. It's almost like I like to think of like the bow and arrow, and sometimes like, it I mean, you need the pulling
The
backwards
pullback.
to bring that force to shoot forward. So it's like instead of being like, oh no, it's Mercury retrograde, I'm gonna have a terrible time, everything's gonna go wrong, taking it as an opportunity to like slow down and like check yourself and like review, reflect. Can't think of any other rewords right now.
Reconnect.
If you
Yeah.
got them, yeah, reconnect. Um, so it's like you can gain momentum on whatever it is you might be working on. So it's like pulling the arrow back so that when retrograde's over and you release, you can shoot forward even faster.
Yes.
Like building that like tension.
Yeah. And you may notice like you do that naturally, even if it's like
Mhm.
not an intention. Like you may be
Yeah.
more reflective. You may be, everybody says Mercury retrograde. Oh, my exes are reaching out. My exes are reaching
My
out.
ex is always reaching to Mercury retrograde. It's fucking crazy. I'm
Um,
like, you guys don't even follow astrology. How are you hitting me up
yeah, there's
this time?
one person that I have that always.
Me too. Yeah.
Um, or like one other person that will just pop into my head a lot. And I'm like, I know you're too stubborn to actually reach out, and I'm not going to. But I can
Yeah.
I can tell you're thinking about me because I literally never think about you.
Yeah.
And you're
Oh, I
popping into
definitely
my
have that
head.
happen where they pop into my head and I'm like, why am I thinking of them? And I'm like, oh, it's Mercury retrograde. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't be that ex, Sadie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's
And
bizarre.
when I say reconnect, that doesn't necessarily mean reconnect with an
You're
ex.
meant to reconnect. Yeah.
It could be like reconnect with like old projects or um like old problems that you've been having. It's a really great time to bring like new points of view, new
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say perspectives. I was like, that's the same thing. New I can't think of the word, but just like new ways of doing
Yeah.
to old things.
Yeah. It was making me think of like let's say you have a project that you really wanted to get off the ground, but
Mm-hmm.
you keep kind of like pushing it off, not prioritizing, procrastinating, like reconnect to why you were excited about that in the first
Yes,
place.
exactly.
Reconnect to like the purpose behind the things. Reconnect. What I'm thinking is like the things in your mind that you're like manifesting,
Mm-hmm.
that the energy's feeling stale, stuck. Reconnect to the purpose, the like intrinsic motivation that you had behind that in the beginning that made you want it in the first place. Like reconnect to that and reflect on like, wait, why did I want this thing? Is it still important to me? Because sometimes too, Mercury retrograde, the reviewing, the reflecting, the reconnecting, it can show us what's like, oh, that actually doesn't resonate with me anymore. So I'm
Yep.
going to let that go. That's what's
Yes.
really useful to use this time for, I think, too.
Yes. Yeah. I was just gonna say that as well. Like it's all, another re is like release. Like it's a really
Yes,
great
release.
time
I was like, there's
to
another one that
release
means something
things.
different, and I can't think of it. Release. It's a good
Yeah.
time to release. And
Yes.
it's this is, the end of the year is here,
Mhm.
So we've like a month left of the year. So what do you want to release that you just don't that like that's this is such a good, honestly. Every time I like have conversations like this about Mercury retrograde, I'm like, wait, you know what? I'm a little bit excited. Like, yeah, tech X up, it's annoying, it's frustrating, but like that's always my biggest thing. Like the Wi-Fi's not working, or my computer keeps rebooting, or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like, what do we all want to release
Yeah.
before the new year?
Yes.
We're like, I'm not bringing that into 2025.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing that shit anymore.
That is also a good, like what you said before about computer rebooting and stuff. It is a good little reminder to save,
Messes with technology.
save,
Yeah.
save, save all your
Yeah.
projects, anything you're typing up, working on, save everything, make a backup copy.
I had the most classic Mercury retrograde. It started today when we're recording, right? Or yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay, yeah, this happened yesterday. This is so funny. I had the most class. This is usually silly goofy. I had I started a new sales job, and so I had the mock call yesterday morning before I was going to start taking my first client calls. So just checking that I know the script and whatever, typical for sales. And so first of all, I'm staying somewhere where the Wi-Fi is full bars, but there's no connection. Why? I don't know. So I go to this cafe. It's so loud there. There's coffee grinding, whatever. But luckily, Zoom has noise suppression, and I was just like, hey, I'm moving today to somewhere with good Wi-Fi. But my place didn't have it. I'm sorry, I'm in a loud cafe, but Zoom does most of it, whatever. But that morning, I had woken up at like 6 in the morning to prepare for this mock sales call because I was busy all weekend, so I didn't get to study as much as I wanted. And I typed up the script from the calls I was listening in on, so I was like super prepared, right? A script, ask this question, and then this question, whatever. Well, I opened my laptop. It's 1 minute until I have to be on this call because I had to rush to a cafe because all of a sudden the Wi-Fi wasn't working. And the sales script didn't save because there was no Wi-Fi and I was doing it on my Notion.
No.
And so I'm just like, luckily I had it scribbled out in my notebook really messily and I just had typed it up to like have it on my screen so I don't need to look down, whatever.
Yeah.
So I had it kind of, but I was like, so whatever. And then the funniest thing is, I finally come to this place, which the Wi-Fi is fantastic. Please keep working even though it's working retrograde. And I open my laptop. I'm gonna do a little more studying. Lo and behold, there's the fucking script. It's back.
Well,
I'm like, was that the moment that it stationed retrograde? Honestly, what time was it at? I think I wrote
I
that
don't
down
know.
somewhere. I was like, literally, that was insane. Why did it do that? And I thought I did such a bad job, but she was like, oh, that was great. Like, you're ready, go on the calls. I was like,
Okay,
okay.
great. Thank you so much.
Okay. So yeah, I was super prepared. I wrote it down. Oh no, I didn't write down the time. Well, it was yesterday though. But I was like, oh my God, that was the most classic. That's classic.
Classic. Um, but yeah, so this Mercury retrograde is in Sagittarius. So if you are a Sagittarius or have a bunch of Sagittarius placements, you might feel it a little bit more. And typically, people with Gemini and Virgo placements feel Mercury retrograde a little bit more since it rules your signs.
Virgo sun, Sagittarius rising. Also, okay, we were talking about this because I learned recently from the Channy app that I was born during Mercury retrograde. So to me, I thought, wow, that's my normal way of being. It's going to be better for me. But Pam informed me that actually it's worse,
Um,
potentially.
Not like worse,
Not worse,
but you
but
just
like,
like might feel it a bit more. And I did learn Mercury retrograde in a chart makes the mind more reflective, information is processed differently than like others typically, and learning maybe best through like absorption. I can't say that word right now. Or like experience
mm,
related methods, like
mhm.
learning while doing. Um,
That's definitely true.
yeah, and it's like it can also indicate somebody that like might have a harder time speaking up about their needs.
That is me.
Or like not being able to express thoroughly.
Yeah, that's for sure. When I was a kid, I would get super sick because I didn't want to tell anybody I was sick because I was like, I don't want to inconvenience. And then I was like, my parents were like, well, we have to take you to the hospital because now you're really sick. And I was like, oh, sorry. And then I made it way worse than it needed to be. Classic Mercury retrograde in the chart. Am I right?
Classic.
I'm better at it
Um,
now. I'm working on it. It's my journey, but
yeah, but really,
that's very true.
yeah. And it's also a really great time to like journal, to do a bunch of like meditation, just kind of like recenter yourself.
Mm, mhm.
Um, I also saw that it was a good time to do shadow work.
Yeah, yeah,
Really
absolutely.
reflective
Yeah,
time, things
that
like
makes
that.
sense.
Um, yeah, I feel like I went through all of that really fast, but
All
I
right,
just
and so
talk.
we are done.
I just like talk through all my notes really quickly. Um, but yeah, I mean, Mercury retrograde.
Classic.
Classic.
I'm like, I don't know. I did not make
Um,
notes today because all of a sudden my calendar filled up. But um, no, but I think that is like, we always I always joke like here's your survival guide, but it really
yeah.
is nothing to um get super anxious about. I feel like when I first kind of got into my spiritual journey and I first started paying attention to this stuff, I would get anxiety.
Mm,
Oh, Mercury retrograde. Like I really, and then it really does quickly become like a self-fulfilling prophecy and doesn't have
yes.
to be that big of a deal. Like now I'm like aware it's happening, but I try to just kind of like put it in the back of my mind. And instead of like creating some sort of story and then living it out about how I'm gonna have a terrible time when my service isn't working on my phone or the Wi-Fi is acting up or something, I feel like instead I can have a little bit more patience where I'm like, okay. It's Mercury retrograde. This is
Mm-hmm.
still fucking annoying, but I'm gonna take a deep breath and I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna problem solve and I'm gonna just whatever. Because you're like, okay, like
Yeah.
this is happening.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's true with all astrology. I just did one of my year ahead readings today and we talked about that, where like whether it's your own birth chart or Mercury retrograde or oh, this is, people creating FOMO around you have to manifest with this new moon. It's
Oh
the
my God,
best one
that drives me crazy. And then they say it for every single new moon.
every single one. Yeah. It's don't let these things become self-fulfilling prophecies. Same with tarot, same with any divination method, same with anything like that. Like
Yes.
don't use these things to predict how you're going to feel or predict how you're going to be or create an identity or whatever, a story that is not empowering. Use it to be aware and really intentional.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so I was like, okay, this week, I had that one experience. Today my Zoom wouldn't log in, whatever, and it was like 1 minute before my call, and I was like, okay, so this week I'm gonna try to log in 5 minutes before my call because it's Mercury retrograde, and then I don't have to
Yes.
get stressed when it doesn't work because I have a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the vibe, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so I should just give myself a little bit more time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too about travel. Like, you don't have to be the dad that gets there 4 hours before your flight, but
That's me
that's
anyways.
me.
Mercury
That's me
retrograde or
all the
not.
time. But I,
Whenever I get a ride to the airport and they're like, so we should leave at this time, I'm like,
oh,
well, I don't mind sitting there for a while.
yeah.
So
Because I'd rather just sit there, than be like you're sweating,
sitting
running
in
through the
traffic
whole airport. Oh
and
my
there's
God.
nothing you can
They're
do.
calling your name on the intercom. You're like, I'm coming, please.
Please, please, I'm here. I remember like I do get there ridiculously early, and so I've never missed a flight unless it was like because of a delayed flight and I missed the
Yeah.
connection. That's the only instance. Like and that's happened a lot. I've had very good luck, knock on wood. I don't know if this is wood, but I've had very good luck traveling. I'm like, oh no, I travel all the time. I don't want to. The only times I've had trouble is like going home in the winter for a connecting
Yeah.
flight. But
Yeah.
anyways,
The only two times I've ever missed a flight were because of somebody else. I
yeah.
was like, this is not, I'm putting I hope you know, this is
Yeah.
your fault.
But I remember
It's the
there
same
was like
person.
there was one where it wasn't even that bad, but I was there a lot later than I typically would be. It was cutting it like close, but
Yeah.
I was still like fine. And I remember being in line for the security and this guy completely frazzled was like, "Can I cut in front of you? I'm on this flight at this time." And I'm like, I looked at him, I was like, "I'm on that same flight." And everyone else in the line turned around and they were like, "We're all on that flight. Like get to the back of the line." Like
Yeah.
just the drama. And I thought seared in my memory, like, because he was just with tail between his legs, walked to the back of the line because we were literally all on his flight. I think,
And then he
oh,
had to walk through the plane aisle. That's also so embarrassing.
this is what happened. I remember because I was pissed because I was like, what the fuck? This is what happened. It was flying home from New York and they delayed the flight like well in advance. So I was like, okay, great. Like I don't have to go to the airport yet. And then they switched it back.
Yeah, you can't. They always end up
And
switching
then
it back.
and then they had to switch it back because nobody was there on time. That's what happened. So it wasn't even like my fault. It was like so I still would have made the earlier time because it was like only like 1 hour difference or something. But it was just funny because we all turned around and we were like, we're literally all on that flight
Yeah.
because we all got fucked over. We all got the same text message notifications. Oh, never mind, it's not delayed anymore, you know?
Yeah.
We all went through that together, buddy. That's
He's so
funny.
stressed.
Yeah, he's just like, can I please cut in front of you? And we're like, he's like, my flight is this one. And I was like, I'm on that flight too. You can go behind me. It was
It's so funny.
but
No, I
yeah, there was
missed
something else I was gonna say about Mercury. What were you gonna say?
I missed an international flight because I was on a tour and the guy I was flying back with, like we were on the tour together and we were both flying back to Nashville. And we just left so late because he had me like we left so late. And I was like, should have left your ass in Amsterdam.
So it was like your fault and everything. Did you have to buy a new flight?
No, no, we got
Oh, they
another
moved
flight
you.
and then we found out then we had to have because it was also like during like peak, not 2020, but when COVID was still really,
Oh
really
yeah,
high
yeah.
and international flying, you had to have like all this paperwork and everything. And typically the TM, sorry, typically the
Classic
TM,
Mercury retrograde knocked over your microphone.
typically the TM to like make sure everybody has all their paperwork and everything, but we had like switched TMs halfway through because the other one left for a different tour and this one, I don't know, it was a whole thing. And then it was just crazy. And I was like, you know what? I should have just stayed in Amsterdam. This is, I loved it there.
Oh my God.
But
I
yeah,
haven't been to Amsterdam. I really want to go.
we should go next year.
Yeah, we have to go on our European tour. The
Yeah.
Giggly Witches are going to you. Everybody line
Your
up,
tour.
come to meet us.
I love that. I would love that. We should
Dude,
do
if
that.
if you do live in Europe and you do listen, by chance, if there's someone out there, hit us up.
Yes, seriously.
Tell us.
I know. Maybe next year I'll just
I know I have
travel a
quite a
bunch.
few people from Australia in my audience, but I don't know about
Mm,
Europe.
I'll have to look
Because
at the statistics.
when I was in Thailand, I got to hang out with somebody, but she was
Oh, I
from
remember
Australia.
seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you posted it.
And then in Bali, I hung out with people too, but they were from the US. Not yeah, that was so cool that I got to just like, they were like, hey, I'm in Bali too. Like, let's hang out. I was like, real friends. And same with Thailand.
Real friends.
So cool. Yeah. We're international, baby. Baby. But it is fun when I get to do a reading for someone or something and they like have an accent. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. It really is an international thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to all our international babes.
Yeah.
We love the Americans. Yeah. We love you all.
Happy you're here.
We're just happy to be here. Just happy to be here.
Yeah. I have to redo my passport, I think.
I have to renew mine this year. I'm really annoyed that I'm gonna have to be home for a month to do it. I should have done this past summer when I was home from because it expires it's over a year, but nowhere lets you fly there with something less than 6 months before expiration. So I'm like, can you just make that the expiration?
Yeah.
It literally makes no sense.
Yeah. I know I need to do that.
So I should do that this summer. I was thinking about doing it at Christmas, but I'm gonna need to be home for I think it takes like 3 to 4 weeks. Even if you expedite it, it can take up to 3 weeks. So I'm like, I'll just go home for a month in the summer. August is kind of like my cutoff, so I'll be home. Anyways, I had something else to say about Mercury retrograde, but now I completely forgot.
You'll remember it as soon as we hang up.
As soon as we're done.
Yeah.
I don't know what time we started recording. I'm like, I
don't know either. I keep looking at the time. Being like, when did we start this?
Like, this is gonna be a short episode.
I honestly
really tired today. My brain
before we started anyway. That it was
I did too.
I
did too. For the first time in my life, I'm lost for words. This has never happened before. Usually I'm yapping all day long.
Yeah,
I did have
Mercury.
Is that why I talk so much?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
What is your Mercury in? Let me look at your chart that you sent me.
It might be in Virgo too. I don't remember now. Okay. My Mercury's in Leo in the 9th house. What does that mean?
In Leo.
You communicate with warmth, charisma, and heart.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Messages into performance is your pastime.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That checks out. What's your Mercury in?
Aries.
Okay, so what does that mean? You're really aggressive.
I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Means people look at me like this sometimes.
Okay, well, that's all, folks. We have, for the first time in our lives,
run out of things to say. Yeah.
It's never happened before, but
no. There's a first for everything.
There's a first for everything. I did a 90-minute reading right before this, and I yapped my little heart out, and I just left it.
I've been singing Wicked all day, and I think that took it out of me.
Look, emotionally, spiritually, physically.
Performances of Defying Gravity, and they just I gave it my all, you know?
And I almost died this weekend. Give me a fucking break, you guys.
Seriously.
Just kidding.
I did not, but thank God, knock on wood.
Did you just
wasn't an invitation?
You said knock on wood.
Yeah.
I need to check this wood. It's not. Oh my God. I got it. Okay.
Well,
thanks for having silly goofy time with us, giggly witches.
Yeah.
Let us know if you saw Wicked or Hot Frosty. I'm dying to know. Please personally DM me.
Oh, the Merry Gentleman.
Hot Frosty.
That's the other one Diana was talking about. Sorry, that just popped into my head as soon as you
Merry Gentleman.
The Merry Gentleman.
What's the premise of this?
That it's basically Magic Mike, but Christmas themed.
What is it on?
With Chad Michael Murray. On Netflix.
Okay, my favorite, the most insane. Okay, when I first watched this Christmas movie, I thought I had a fever dream because it was a year that I got really sick on Christmas and I literally had a fever, and I watched this Christmas movie, and then I was later describing it to a friend, and you know, when you start saying stuff out loud and you kind of realize what you're saying, you're like, wait, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
And I remember describing it to her and we started looking at each other and I was like, honestly, I had a really high fever that day. I think I might have dreamt part of this. But lo and behold, I watched it again and I was completely right about the entire movie. It's called, I think it's just called the Christmas Ghost, or no, it's on Netflix. What's it called? Okay, basically the big town lawyer lady, she's got to go to the small town.
The
Classic.
Spirit of Christmas.
I think, yes, that's it. Yes, the Spirit of Christmas. And she has to go to this inn to get a signature or whatever. No, all the other people are scared. And she's like, I'm not scared. I'm going to go to the inn. Oh, it's not really haunted. You guys are dumb. But there's a magic spell. This is spoiler alerts galore. I don't care. I'm saying it all. I want to tell everybody. This is my favorite Christmas movie. Okay. So this inn is haunted. Okay. And she goes there and she's going to stay. And the guy that runs the place, he's like, oh no, I leave every Christmas for 12 days because we have to leave it for the ghost.
Yes.
And he comes back. The ghost comes back in physical form.
Yes.
And of course, Daniel, of course, he's young, he's handsome, he's hot.
Yeah. It says he died a century ago.
He died a century ago. It was murder. He doesning remember how he died. That was a big spoiler. I'm so sorry, everybody. But then she's like, I'm not leaving. That's ridiculous. A ghost doesn't come back. That's so dumb, whatever. And then, oh my God, it came back. And she's like, you're not really a ghost, whatever. And then this is probably huge and unexpected, but they do fall in love. And then the 12 days of Christmas are going to be over and he's going to turn into a ghost again until next year. There's no explanation. There's no magic in this movie whatsoever. But somehow the power of love and of Christmas, he turns back into a human. He died a century ago. But then there's like snow swirling around. He walks down this path. There's no explanation. There's no premise in this movie for magic. It's absolutely insane. And that's the part I thought I fever dreamed.
But she just falls in love with a dead ghost.
And she's not like
a dead person.
She's not like, what? You're human again? They're just like,
this is it. Of
course you are. I guess after he was already in physical form for 12 days, him staying human wasn't a huge shock. I was shocked. It's bananas, but 10 out of 10 recommend. Even though I ruined it for you, you should still watch it.
I will definitely watch it.
It's a personal favorite.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Also, I just have to complain for a second because I feel like get me in the room when they're casting these Christmas movies. None of the couples they put together have chemistry.
I think that's like part of what makes them great Christmas movies.
I need them to be sexier.
Like the Hallmark Christmas movies where you're just like these are so bad that they're so good.
I guess that is what's part of making what is part of what makes them so bad and cheesy and therefore enjoyable, but
I understand what you're saying.
They're really bad at putting these couples together. There's nothing there. They look like brother and sister. Siblings are dating.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
There's no chemistry. And they're both beautiful people. There's just no chemistry.
You know what is honestly a fantastic Christmas movie? Non-sarcastically.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
So fair, yes. Also, Last Holiday.
Oh, wait, which one?
With Queen Latifah, where the doctors tell her she is gonna die within like
this sounds familiar, but I haven't seen it recently.
Oh my God, it's a really old movie at this point. But she literally takes every single dollar that she has and goes on this crazy vacation. And just, she eats everything, she sees everything, she like experiences everything because in her head, she's just been told she has like a month left to live.
And then was it a misdiagnosis?
Yes.
Classic. Unbelievable.
But you know, there's There's love, there's
There's
tears,
love.
there's pain,
We
there's
laugh,
beauty.
we cry, we
Yes,
make fun of it.
it's amazing.
Oh,
So good.
that's what I miss about being home is like watching bad Christmas movies with friends and talking shit. That's one of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah. Well, we could still do that.
We could
There's
do it
like,
over Zoom.
yeah.
We could go 1, 2, 3, go and press play at the
No,
same
there's thing. I did this with my friend Ryan all the time. Oh my God, we still have to
Oh,
finish watching Peaky Blinders, but this is how we watch Peaky Blinders all together. Is the Peaky fucking Blinders. Like, never mind.
that was really good. That was really good.
I love it so much. But there's like a thing on Chrome where you can watch Netflix together.
I remember that. I haven't like tried to do it since COVID and we were all like miserable by ourselves and
Yeah.
watching. We were like, well, I guess we could watch a movie on Netflix
Yeah.
over Chrome. Okay, we should do that. We'll have on next week's episode, a wicked listening party where you listen to Pam and I sing along to every song.
Yeah, we'll have a sing along on the bottom. We'll put all the
Christmas
lyrics.
spirit movie, and we will. Well, no, we should watch Hot Frosty together and
Yeah.
talk shit. That
Yes.
sounds really fun. Ooh,
Yeah.
make hot chocolate.
We can live tweet it.
Hot here, but oh yeah.
Have you seen the trend on TikTok where everybody's making bone broth hot chocolate?
I have seen that. Jackie did it.
I'm
Shout
intrigued.
out Jackie. You guys know Jackie?
I didn't see her talk about it. I'll have to ask
Hello
her how it
Gaines.
was.
That's Gaines with a Z. Shout out Jackie if you're listening.
Gaines.
I saw her make it. And I was like, that seems strange, but
I didn't see. I'll have to ask her how it is.
Yeah. She said it was good. It was in her stories.
Everybody talks about how great it is, but then sometimes you see things on TikTok and you're like, is that actually good? Or are you just doing this for the views?
Right. No, well, bone broth is so good for you.
I know. Well, that's how I make my like rice and all the things with bone.
What kind of bone broth do you get now that we're on the subject? I
like the Kettle Fire brand.
That's what I get too.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't for 2 years because I haven't lived at home.
They always have like flavors and too if you want like something different. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, not sponsored, not an ad. Hashtag.
I wish this episode was sponsored by Kettle Fire bone broth. Manifesting.
Well, maybe
that's all, folks.
Maybe we end it there.
Pam, what do you got going on? Lay it on us.
This is literally by the time this episode comes out, literally the last 3 days to schedule a reading with me. And then they are gone, donezo.
Forever. It'd be a damn shame if you missed that, you guys. It'd be a damn shame.
It was another
Get one for a friend for Christmas.
Yeah. Get one for yourself or for a friend or your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister.
Cousins.
Or, your aunt and your uncle.
Lovers.
Anyway, so I have that 25% off with code NOV, like NOV 25 the numbers. And then I'll be coming back, I don't know, sometime next year with some new things, but we'll see how that goes once I finish my courses. Anyway, now I'm just rambling and I can't stop. So Sadie, please. Oh wait, you can find me at Velvet Snake Oracle.
Oh yeah, where do we find you?
And please, Sadie, start talking.
Links in the show notes.
Links to the.
Excuse me, I just burped. Oh my god, where am I?
Chaos. Chaos episode. I actually really don't like ASMR.
I don't either. It gives me anxiety. I don't know why. It's making me get. I find ASMR so relaxing. And then there's a girl I scroll on TikTok where she's like, "I'm gonna pretend to be doing dentistry." I don't want to listen to you cleaning my teeth. I swear to God, she has the weirdest things, and I watch them because I'm fascinated. But the noises, people biting into things and chewing. I'm sorry, that's relaxing to you?
Like that?
You're insane.
I don't like
Straight
that.
to jail.
Yeah. Maybe there's a little misophonia that we've got.
What's that?
It's like hating the sound of people chewing.
You can find anyways. At I am Sadie Olson on all social medias, TikTok and Instagram. I haven't posted in ages, but Instagram is where I hang out more. You can see my stories, what I'm up to. My YouTube is Magic with Sadie. You can find lots of guided tapping videos, some meditation, some master classes, some spells on there. And this is what you need to get in on right now, folks, because our December scripting session is this weekend. It's on Saturday, November 30th, which happens to also be the new moon in Sagittarius. So it's gonna be super fun. And this is our last scripting session of for the last month of the year,
For the
right?
year.
And so then next month we'll be doing our we're gonna do a nice juicy year ahead scripting session because it'll be like the New Year's version.
Ooh.
It'll be very exciting. And you can join that link in the show notes. It's a monthly membership, but you can come in for a month or two. If it's for you, great, you can stay, but cancel anytime. And we have so much fun. We have a little Telegram chat where we keep in touch between our scripting sessions. I try to send at least like once or twice a week some like hype, some motivation, some inspiration, light a little fire under your cute booties. So it's super fun in the membership. And I also have year ahead, 2025 year ahead readings. At the time that we're recording, I have 3 spots left that are discounted for Black Friday. So you can save like $40, I think, if you want to do a 2025 year ahead. It's a very in-depth reading. It's 90 minutes. I've never done readings that long before, but we go really
Long
deep
time.
into the energy. And I do it a little differently. I don't do month by month, but we really dig deep into like different facets, perspectives that we want to reflect on for the year to get you really set up. So we'll talk about your goals, what you want to work on, get some clarity there. And then just really go deep into the energy. I use channeling and tarot cards to really help you create a roadmap and feel really clear and excited about what you want to focus on and what you're going to do on a spiritual and energetic level to get there and what you're going to do on a tangible physical level. So if you're feeling like 2025 is like a fucking year, let's do a reading. It'll be super fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing those. And you can also book a classic tarot reading and yeah, go to do the tapping on my YouTube and download my free scripting guideline.
Yay.
And the Giggly Witches at Giggly Witches.
Yes.
YouTube,
At Giggly Witches.
Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple.
Yes.
I want to do what's the Looney Tune thing that's like, that's all, folks. That was really bad. I'm sorry. I don't know how to imitate this. Can you do it better? Try.
That's all, folks.
Okay, that was way better.
Okay. Thanks for being
bye,
here.
Giggly Witches. Love you.
Bye.